This is not modded. Creatures holding items is possible in the game's code, but it's just not implemented. We may not see it, but nearly every creature has an inventory component. Some of them use it more than others, like monkeys, worms, lure plants, eye plants, mole worms, and catcoons, while others only use it to facilitate befriending and allowing creatures to collect food or equipping armor, and some just have it for no real reason. The amount of inventory slots vary from creature to creature, most having around 5 inventory slots, while others having more. Worms will have 15, lure plants have 15, moles have 3, the mole's hole has 50, and a catcoon den having 20. Because these creatures have inventory slots, they actually have equipment slots, meaning they can be given any item that the player can equip, and they can use them. Weapon, armor, dress up, or packs. Only the headgear slot is implemented though, but all of these creatures can actually wear headgear, body equips, and player weapons. With certain console commands, you can spawn creatures with items in their inventory, and how they interact with player weapons, armors, and items are a bit interesting. Armors act the same and provide the defense and effects that the armor provides. If they have a bramble, they will shoot out spikes on hits. Scale mail provides fire immunity and fire counterattack, and what's strange is that the marble or any heavy objects don't slow creatures when they are equipped. For weapons, the creature's damage is overridden by the weapon that the creature is holding. So a 20 damage spider equipped with a spear will do 34, give it a dark sword and it will do 68. But giving a 75 damage dragonfly an axe lowers the damage the boss does. The weapon also does lose durability while the creature uses it, so eventually the item will break. They won't be able to use tools however though. Giving a mob that can chop an axe won't reduce the amount of chops it takes for it to cut a tree. Creatures can use ranged weapons too. Ice and fire staves are interesting and may need a few ice staff users to make them be useful. A mob with a fire staff may be more damaging than useful though. Boomerangs are funny because they can use them, however they can't catch them. And some of the herd mentality creatures will actually become aggressive towards the boomerang thrower. With darts and other stackable ranged weapons, the creature only has one in their inventory, so they can only use it once and then they go back to their normal attack. There are a couple strange things that used to happen when you give creatures equip items. Worms used to be able to harvest giant crops or statues from potter wheels, and they would move much slower thanks to the speed down of the heavy item, but this no longer happens. Pigs and bunnymen were also able to hold items for the player. You used to be able to give them basic resources like rocks, flint, niter, and gold, and they could be used as a portable storage for these resources, and you just need to kill them to acquire the items back. But this no longer is a thing. They will just decline items now, which I'm sad about, because it was a fun little unique thing the player can do to help carry items. Moles are one that you can use as a mini bundle. Moles have 3 inventory slots that they use to transfer to their 50 inventory slot dens. If a mole goes over a trap, it will force whatever item is under the trap into the mole's inventory. Only minerals, trinkets, and turfs work. Just don't try this with gunpowder. Normally the mole would be unaffected by the trap and just steal the item. However, this still works if you drop a mole from your inventory into the trap. It forces the items into the mole's inventory, and you can access these items by dropping the mole. Just don't kill the mole because then all the items in the inventory are gone. Certain creatures also break when given items. Shattered spiders are pretty crazy because their ranged attacks takes the properties of whatever item they're holding, so these spikes can do dark sword damage. Bishops also lose their projectile range if given a melee weapon, or whatever item they're holding breaks. Their attack range is much lower compared to a standard bishop. They also don't have the projectile that bishops shoot, which makes me think, what if bishops have a personal weapon that we just can't access? That is actually the case with spitters. Spitters have an invisible weapon that we cannot see or use, and it doesn't get knocked out of the spitter's hand, unlike other creatures that we give weapons. You can see a moose goose knocks out the pig's weapon here with its honk. Because of this, spitters cannot use other weapons other than the one it has. If you give a moose goose a fire staff, moose will become aggressive to burnables on the ground. They'll burn grass tufts, saplings, and just items on the ground. I'm not sure why the moose even decides to do this. Maybe it's part of its territorial aggro, and giving the moose a fire staff allows them to aggro onto things that don't have health. And speaking of moose, don't give moslings bright shade staffs. They will completely murder your entire team. What's interesting too is that if a creature wears a bright shade item, they also get the buff on their weapon, allowing for more damage and bounces between attacks. I think it's just interesting to see all the possibilities that exist for mobs, yet we can't actually use them. Mob fighting is usually seen as boring, and it's all based on numbers. But imagine if we could armor mobs and have access to many more strategies, than just overwhelm them with numbers. Just something fun that can be part of the game, but isn't. I just thought it was something people should know. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Tara, and take care.